Hello, Musto0063 back. Hope you all enjoyed my 300th upload. I know I did. But it's time to get back to Shovel Knight. This is part 7, and today we're going to go into the Explodatorium, the lair of Plague Knight. And as we saw on the last part, part 6, I went and bought the armour guard from the armour shop, which is basically colours me red and means that I lose half the gold when I die. I'm so not going to get. I'm not actually going to get to see it at work because I'm not going to die. But yeah, nevertheless, I look nice and red. And already we've kind of seen what's going to be a staple gimmick for this level. These areas on the floor where fire comes out from the bottom and you need to rush over them so as not to get caught by it. And there's going to be a very, very annoying gimmick to the stage, the exploding rats. So when you hit them, they kind of recoil back. So at that point they will die once you've hit them. But yeah, they will then explode, and they'll obviously, if it's in the vicinity of you, they'll explode on you. They'll also do things like destroy scenery. So as I'm probably going to see with this, yeah, well, okay, I killed it from a distance, but yeah, anyway, you saw that the blocks at the bottom of the screen kind of went away when the rat exploded. So again, they're nice enough here to give you a bit of an introduction to them, so you can see how they work, and it's not so hectic or so life-threatening. But they're going to start putting them in very annoying places, like on this area here, for instance, with pits where you could get knocked back from the recoil. There's also going to be areas that we'll see later on where they start having the floor that actually is explodable, and they actually create pits. So that's going to be fun to watch out for as well, because it doesn't immediately look like there's any danger, but of course once they explode and take away the floor, that's where the danger all of a sudden comes in. A few of these kind of platforms kind of rising up and down, not too bad. You don't really have to bother with the magic and the gems down there, but I thought, nah, why not? Still getting lots and lots of gold for breaking apart all these checkpoints. And this screen, you kind of want to, I guess, head up to the top right. So there's a ladder there that's previously concealed, but of course the exploding rats will clear a path for you. Just as a little puzzle, almost kind of demonstrating this. If you stay on the platform as it goes up on, the one that's going up, you will just, you will stay where you are and then just drop down again. So just time that out well. It shouldn't be too tricky. And there's a music sheet waiting in the treasure chest. So yeah, definitely worth doing, and can be one that you could one of the ones you're more liable to miss, perhaps. But yeah, the rats here certainly explode everything, and there's some food over on the right hand side, but at this point in time I don't need it. Don't expect that to last throughout the level. This is quite a tricky level with some very annoyingly placed enemies, some very difficult platforming sections, but yeah, for the moment not doing such a bad job. Here is a little, again, they're nice enough to do it where there's no danger. You'll notice that when I've kind of been pogoing on, or shoveling down on, like solid blocks, if you will, that Shovel Knight bounces off and goes up and down, pogoing. Here, by the way, is where I take my first hit of the stage, which is terrifically clumsy. But anyway, getting back to the point, those blocks in the previous screen, if you pogo through them, you will go through the lot of them. So again, as I was just trying to say, they're nice enough there not to have a pit under it, so you kind of get a hang of the gimmick. But yeah, watch out when they start putting those over pits. And here's me very nicely demonstrating that thankfully these spikes are not one-hit kills. These ones are, the ones on the ceiling up there, but thankfully the ones that are, bubbling up from the cauldrons or whatnot are not. I also decided here to switch to the phase locket just in case I screw up, as I very, very, very nearly did there. Hi. I didn't need to use the phase locket because I regained my composure, but yeah, obviously have a look at this section, see where the cauldrons are firing up, and time it appropriately. You'll also want to try and make use of these two enemies here to get up to this higher ledge area. Again, don't pogo or you'll fall through. But yeah, if we create a bridge, there's a little hidden area to the top right, and you'll definitely want to go here. We have one of those annoying knights that puts the shield up when you start to pogo, when you try and pogo them from above. But as I said, do that and then try and drop to the ground and then whack them from the side. It's a pretty good tactic for dealing with all those types of ones. And thankfully he wasn't throwing any annoying anchors or anything. Hey, it's going to be Chester. I think I'll forego his speech this time. I know he was slightly different in Treasure Knight, but this one's in all the other 7 stages I think it's exactly the same, so I'm going to forego doing the speech on this again. But I will say this is the alchemy coin. Toss a coin for chance of riches. So, yeah, not again. It's a decent weapon, like in some circumstances like this, where you can just fling it across the floor and it clears enemies rather nicely. But when you've got enemies that bounce and move, or things that don't die in one hit, or areas where there just clearly isn't a great big long flat space for the coin to roll around on the floor, then it doesn't tend to be all that useful. It has its uses, but somewhat limited, I find anyway. Certainly, with the selection of relics available, I certainly consider it one of the poorer ones anyway. So here we get to the section I think I was talking about before with the exploding rats, and this time they're going to start breaking apart walls at this point in time, and a little bit later on floor. So you're going to need to be very careful. Yes, and here we go. I've also got this flying enemy which comes in every couple of seconds or so, dropping potions, which of course explode and of course destroy the terrain as well. So yeah, don't hang about in one area too long, and try not to be over an area that it clearly looks like if the ground is going to give way, that all of a sudden bad things are going to happen. I say I was very, very nervous at this point in time. I was like, there's a pit there, please don't get hit, please don't fall in it. Ideally as well, you want to keep some you want to keep those platforms up there as well, because you can get some extra height, bounce off the flying enemy, go up to the top of the screen and collect that music sheet. Don't despair if you can't. You can actually trick this enemy that I just killed there, get to the right hand side of it, shovel it over to the left, and then you can actually pogo off that and get to the music sheet. So yeah, don't despair if you do happen to lose the height on the previous area, because the flying enemy drops the potion and takes away all your ground. It is possible, but the way I did it, I think, is the easier way of doing it. Here we have a Jekyll Hyde mid-boss. All those potions, by the way, will hurt you, so yeah, watch out. And I tend to like to only really attack at this point in time where he's not flying all these potions at me, and it's very, very easy to get hit. But yeah, after a certain amount of time searching in the cupboards for a potion, he'll drink it, he'll turn into, obviously, the monster. After it doesn't last forever, so as you can see, he's reverted back now. But yeah, at this point in time, trying to attack him here is awkward because the potions just fly out. Well, I got hit anyway because I wasn't paying attention, or I got myself cornered. But yeah, this is the part where it's much, much easier to actually attack him. He does speed up, which you may have noticed when he starts moving, when he starts running from side to side. So don't do things like that where you completely mistime your movements or miscalculate where he's going to land. At this point in time, I figured I'd taken so many hits anyway, and I figured he was fairly close to being dead, so I just thought, oh, well, what the hell, I don't want to waste any more time on you, I'll just poke on his head. I was actually a bit lucky there that I didn't get hit by any of the potions, but still. You can attack him that way if you so wish, but yeah, you're liable to take damage a lot more regularly. So if the fire tackles kind of coming up from the floor when you walk on them wasn't one thing to have to deal with, now we've got the continual kind of all the fire pillars or whatnot that just spurt out. It's timed, so you can obviously just make sure you're careful when you move. But yeah, this time it's not, they're just there, and it's nothing to do with whether or not you step on them. They're just an extra obstacle to avoid, and they're not so bad here. But believe me, there's a section coming up where they are an absolute pain. And I'm not actually sure that I've actually managed to do it without using the phase locket or something, or taking a hit and having to take huge risks. I think it's coming up into hopefully not too long. This bit's not too bad. Just you can clearly see one set of them's up, the other set's down. So this bit's not too bad. Neither is this bit where you just drop down the pit, or drop down the little shaft. This is the bit I'm talking about here. It's incredibly difficult to get by this bit without using phase locket like I did there. You probably have to get on one of the pillars, very quickly jump off, and then land back on the same one. It can be done, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. And this little secret area as well is very, very missable. They're actually very nice not to put a music sheet or anything in it. There's just a bunch of a whole bunch of treasure. Quite a lot of treasure, I might add, so it's well worth getting if you can. But yeah, that's one I think I certainly missed when I was first playing it. So I was just so focused on getting out of this screen, getting up the ladder. Yeah, I completely missed that destroyable wall on the right-hand side. Nice little kind of timing area here with ladders and these fire pillars and whatnot. So going, I don't know whether going up or going down is more tricky. I mean, there's the first, I guess the first ladder is probably the easier bit because there's more space between the fire kind of shooting out horizontally. So on the when you go down and when you go up on the left hand side, there's a little less space, but there's still comfortably enough room to hide out in the middle. So in addition to these blocks, which kind of break apart a lot more easily, we've also got these Shovel Knight copies, by the look of it, that also break apart quite easily. So they do only take one hit to kill. And they do quite well if you're taking it out from a distance. But yeah, as you'll see on this screen, where you kind of think, well, up at the top, there's no real danger here. But yeah, they're being the Shovel Knight clone really that they are. They can pogo down and be very, very annoying. This section is a little bit of a pain. Just try and lure the things out so that you kind of make them pogo down through the floor, backtrack to the left a little bit to get out of harm's way, and then kind of just make sure you take them out. But and I kind of I'm abusing phase lock it a little bit here, but believe me, with the enemies and the enemy placement and the projectiles and the pits and everything, it's this part of the level is nasty. There's a little fishing opportunity here. There were a couple others throughout the level. I think I got a goldfish at one point in time, and one was another troutable disciple or whatever. So because I had both chalices filled, I didn't get anything. But yeah, don't think there are any music sheets to fish on this level. And yes, final checkpoints. Hopefully the kind of final checkpoints are becoming more and more obvious now. And yeah, with that we get to the boss, or at least we do after an ominous little drop down. Plague Knight. Leave me alone. Show yourself, Plague Knight. Your trickery will not stop me. Trickery? The fruits of my research are no mere trick. Boom! Hee. Now let's have a lesson, shall we? I promise it will be enlightening. Okay, so this guy is annoying. He spends a lot of the time jumping around the room, firing these kind of either fire shots or mini potions and whatnot. He also has a rather annoying habit of just disappearing when you're about to pogo on him. So sometimes you'll think, yay, I've got myself in a nice position here. Just gonna pogo on you now, get a few nice bits of damage in, just get yourself set, and then all of a sudden, he just disappears. And usually teleports like miles on the other side of the screen, so it gives you a bit of a trek to get over to him. And his attacks are very difficult to avoid. I never have a really decent time with this fight. I mean, sometimes I do well. He also makes these beakers kind of appear as well, which you can just kind of bounce off. But you'll also notice the floor kind of destroyable, so every time he chucks a potion down on the floor, or indeed there with a massive explosion on some of the beakers. So the terrain of this, the fight changes as well, so it can make things just a little bit awkward. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky fight, that one. I also got the halfway feat for defeating 4 Order of No Quarter Knights. So, yeah, we've got... Who have we got? We've got taken out King, Spectre, Treasure, and now Plague. We still have one left to go in this little kind of section of the map screen. So, yet again, we just get a... well, we don't get a dream sequence, we just get the falling asleep, waking up, shoveling the dirt pile in one motion, which is, yeah, like I said before, it feels like almost feels like a nothing kind of thing that you're spending a lot of money on, but it really does just speed things up so much. It is a really handy item. I was so sceptical about... I mean, there's obviously a feat for getting all the things, but I was just like, well, why would I buy that? Can't I just stand there and just dig the dirt up? It doesn't take that long, but it's amazing just how quick fucking how simple that makes things, and yeah, it's actually well worth getting. I think I also decided to top up my magic, so I'm at 70 at the moment. 100 was ordinarily the max, although there are ways to increase it. We'll actually see that in just a couple of moments. But I'm now at 80. I frankly could have bought another one. I probably could have even, maybe not both of the last kind of magic upgrades in the shop, but I certainly could have bought another one. This is me being a bit frugal with my money, I think. But yeah, in the interest of setting up the next video, like I said, I will try and swap armours out and play some of the night stages with different ones. So this was the armour guard, and I'm now going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to buy the conjurer's coat. So sacrifice some protection from higher magic limit and harvest magic from defeated foes. So this gives you an extra 50 magic upgrade. So it was at 80 and now at 130. So if you like using relics and whatnot, then this is definitely the armour for you. But as it says, there is a cost. You do take more damage. So yeah. Depends on your playstyle whether or not you'll like this one. If you like using relics, you'll love it. But yeah, do be careful that you'll now die quicker by taking damage. And yeah, I shall leave it there. That was Plague Knight stage, and next time, part 8, we will be going to the Lost City and taking out Mole Knight. Till then, cheerio.